The Lord be with you. So we're going to be having a baptism this Sunday, and it reminded me of the question about who should be doing the baptism. And now I have a longer video where I talk about the actual scriptural evidence of this, and so I'll refer you to that. But instead, I just want to talk about uh, two stories in my 25 years of being a pastor, two stories of baptisms that were incredibly meaningful to me personally. So the first one was my son being able to baptize him because I knew what made it so meaningful to me was that when I baptized this kid, actually got to raise him in the church. I knew he wouldn't be like all of the other kids that I baptized, that I was never going to see those kids ever again. And there was nothing I could do about it. I couldn't, force the parents to raise their children in the church, even though they had basically sworn on penalty of death to do so. But here was a child I actually got to raise in the faith. Oh, it was so beautiful being able to baptize that child and know that he was going to be raised in the church. And so I mentioned this, in a message one Sunday, that Jesus connects discipleship, uh, baptizing, and teaching, and those two go together. And so, who is most responsible for teaching a child the faith? And shouldn't that person do the baptizing? And now, I don't think it's the pastor's job to do anything more than assist people in teaching the faith, which is a big job. But for a child, who's most responsible for raising that child in the faith and teaching the faith to their children? And I would say, well, the parents. So who should baptize? And I go, the father. Uh, I kind of want to say the father and the mother, but one doing it and both doing it is good. And a father in the congregation, he goes, I want to baptize my child. I want to take responsibility for raising my child in the faith. And I want to start with baptism. And I was just, tickled pink that this father was taking so much responsibility for his child's faith and raising his child in the faith. And it's just, it was quite a touching experience for me. And then I bring this up whenever someone talks about baptism. It's like, are you going to raise the child in the faith? Well, start with baptism. And so that's what we're going to have this Sunday. The father, when I brought this up, he's like, yeah, I want to baptize my child. I want to raise my child in the faith. I want to instruct her in the wisdom and knowledge of God and the salvation that's found only in Jesus Christ. And so it gives me a big thrill when that happens. And so you might say I'm shirking my duties because the Augsburg Confession very clearly says no one shall preach the word or administer the sacraments, including baptism, unless they have been rightly called. And so I guess I'll just take the word administer not to mean do, but to mean oversight and to make sure it's done correctly. And so we don't just have baptisms, in a corner, and I don't tell fathers, oh yeah, just go ahead and go baptize anybody. No, no, no. We do things properly and in good order. And my job is to make sure it's done properly and in good order. We apply the water and we say the right words, and I instruct the father in doing this. But then it's just so thrilling to me to see parents take responsibility for raising their children in the faith because they say, this is so important to me. And, it's just so personally meaningful to see that connection between parent and child in the waters of baptism because it doesn't matter who does the baptism. God is doing the baptism, but still, just to be that instrument and partner with God in the baptism. It's like, whoa, this is awesome. I wouldn't want to deprive that of any parent. What I experienced, I want everyone to experience. All right. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So pour it on. Peace out.